Welcome, everyone. So today we're doing something a little bit different, but honestly, it's incredibly revealing. Have you ever scrolled down beneath an explainer, gloss right over the description box, and just click to the next thing without a second thought? I mean, we all do it, right? But what if I told you that seemingly simple block of text is actually a hidden map? In today's analysis, our goal is to totally deconstruct a tiny piece of internet real estate, literally just a single short description, to uncover the vast digital ecosystem hiding right there in plain sight. We're going to treat text like archaeology. Okay, let's dive into this. The exact first line of our source material reads, Tech Horizon, NVIDIA Research and GPU Cloud Computing. Now, sure, it sounds like a standard title, but this actually serves as the gateway to today's fascinating explainer. It immediately tells us we're operating at the absolute cutting edge of technology, intersecting hardware, software, and cloud infrastructure. But the real story here isn't just about the tech itself. It's about the massive web of connections required to bring information about this tech right to your screen. To make sense of all this, here's our roadmap. First up, the anatomy of tech metadata. Second, academic and corporate links. Third, cloud computing partnerships. Fourth, community and Patreon support. And finally, the production credits. Let's get to it. Number 1, the anatomy of tech metadata. Think of metadata as the digital DNA of content. It's data about data. Before we even look at the links or the sponsors, the most basic text left behind by a creator tells a super specific story about time, place, and reach. We've got a channel called Tech Horizon with Anand Vemula. We have an exact date, May 13th, 2026. We have a highly specific view count of 791 views, and literally just a single hashtag NVIDIA. What this does is entirely ground us in a specific snapshot in time. I mean, 791 views is a relatively small, niche audience, right? Yet the topic, cutting-edge NVIDIA research, is massive. It perfectly shows how highly specialized information actually finds its dedicated audience in the digital age. And what this formally defines is our exact ecosystem for today, the metadata footprint. Now, this isn't just some boring SEO tool. It's the interconnected web of links, credits, and commercial partnerships that support independent technology research coverage. It completely proves that a description box is never just text, it's a living, breathing, functioning ecosystem. It's literally the infrastructure that allows a creator to survive, thrive, and actually publish. Moving on to part 2, academic and corporate links. So if the metadata is the DNA, these links are basically the bones and muscles of the actual research being presented. The creator doesn't just link to one type of source either. They weave together 3 totally distinct worlds to tell a complete story. First, you've got the academic rigor, a direct link to archive.org pointing to a highly specific preprint research paper. Then you have the corporate backing, linking straight to NVIDIA's developer blog, which shows the real-world commercial application. And finally, the community aspect, a link to Hugging Face, the massive open-source hub for AI models. This just shows a brilliant, holistic approach to research. The creator totally expects the audience to be curious enough to jump between raw academic data, corporate context, and community tools. All right, Section 3, Cloud Computing Partnerships. We've seen the research, but listen, artificial intelligence and GPU computing require immense, and I mean incredibly expensive power. And right in the middle of the description, we find out exactly how this creator accesses it. It says, check out Lambda here and sign up for their GPU cloud, lambda.ai/papers. This sponsor quote, complete with a little heart emoji by the way, is the absolutely crucial commercial link that makes independent GPU research testing even feasible. Without cloud providers like Lambda stepping in to sponsor creators, the astronomically expensive hardware required to run these models would be completely locked behind the closed doors of multi-billion-dollar corporations, no question. So the really crucial point here is this conceptual journey. The metadata isn't just some bibliography at the end of a paper. It's actually providing a step-by-step roadmap for viewers to become researchers themselves. Think about it. Step 1, you read the complex archive paper. Step 2, you use the sponsor link to sign up for Lambda's GPU cloud to get the computing juice. Step 3, you actually replicate the NVIDIA research entirely on your own. This description box is secretly a DIY manual for high-end computer science. Honestly, it's incredibly empowering when you look at it this way. That brings us to Section 4, Community and Patreon Support. We just talked about massive corporate partnerships and intense cloud computing, but there is a totally grassroots foundation keeping this alive day to day.
And it's kind of the ultimate paradox of the modern creator economy. On one side of the digital scale, you're dealing with huge tech giants, literally trillion-dollar behemoths like NVIDIA and massive platforms like Hugging Face. But on the flip side, grassroots individual supporters on Patreon. It is everyday people just chipping in a few dollars a month who actually fund the independent, unbiased coverage of those massive tech giants. It's a fascinating symbiotic relationship playing out right there in the text.
But, as we dug into this, we actually found a really fun quirk native to the text, a bit of a metadata crossover mystery. So the channel hosting this material is Tech Horizon with Anand Vemula. But if you look really closely at the description, the Patreon link and the explicit thank you note are actually directing support to 2-Minute Papers, which is a completely different, highly popular tech channel. Why? Well, it really highlights how interconnected, collaborative, and honestly just fluid this digital space can be. Maybe it's a shared network, a direct syndication, or just a deep homage. Whatever it is, it shows that behind the cold algorithms, there are real networked humans actively supporting one another.
And speaking of real humans, 20. Yep, 20. That is the exact number of named, generous individuals explicitly listed in this metadata footprint. In a world of millions of anonymous views and endless scrolling feeds, the creator stops everything to document 20 specific people. Adam, Benji, Cameron, Charles, right on down the line to Tybee and Uli. These aren't just random names taking up character counts. This is the community support system that forms the absolute bedrock of independent media. They are the essential financial counterweight to those massive corporate sponsors. By immortalizing them in the text, the creator is flat out acknowledging that without these specific individuals, this complex breakdown of NVIDIA's research simply would not exist.
Which leads us to our final section, number 5, the production credits. So we've covered the tech, the funding, and the sponsors. Now, looking at the very bottom of the footprint, we find the critical links for the individuals who bring the visuals and research together into a polished package. The Academic Research Foundation is credited to Carly Zsolnay-Feher, linking directly to a university domain, which totally cements the academic credibility. And right below that, credit for the thumbnail design goes to Felicia.hu. It takes a dedicated academic researcher to really understand the math, and a specialized designer to create a visual that makes you want to click in the first place. It's a true collaborative production, permanently stamped right into the metadata.
So as we wrap up this exploration, I want to leave you with a final thought to ponder. We just unpacked an entire world of academic rigor, corporate sponsorship, grassroots funding, and collaborative art, all from just a few lines of text that most people scroll past. So ask yourself, what does the digital metadata you leave behind say about the ecosystems you support? Every click, every link, every view is part of a massive hidden map. Keep your eyes open, stay curious, and hey, the next time you engage with content, don't forget to read the description. Thank you so much for exploring with me today.